I'm anxiety. Where can I put my stuff?
A new emotion.
Oh, I'm sorry. We wanted to make such a good first impression.
What do you mean we?
The animated movie Inside Out 2 is crushing it at the box office. Record-breaking opening weekend, biggest animated box office hit ever in a number of categories. It also takes on an important topic, the interior emotional lives of young people, including living with anxiety. Now, did you know there's a big Calgary connection? Animator John Hoffman gets the credit as story supervisor on Inside Out 2. He's from Calgary, a grad of Henry Wisewood High School, and he joins us now on the line. Hi, John.
Hi.
Congratulations on, wow, big week.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week. Thank you.
Well, tell me about that week. Like, what's it like to sit back and watch what this movie's doing?
It's really gratifying that we work on these movies for so long. It's years in the making, and that it's, out there and people are responding positively to it and really connecting with the movie is really satisfying. And then also, just getting messages from friends and family that have gone to see it and connected with it as well has been really great.
Oh, yeah, John, you do have a job, that you hear that.
Yeah.
So tell us about that job. What does a story supervisor do?
It's a number of different jobs. I work with the writer and the directors, crafting the story of the movie. And then I'll work with the story team, which is a group of, story artists, around 8 story artists. And I'll help them hand off their sequences, help them work through their sequences, give notes. And then I also work in editorial with our editor and our director, where we craft the sequences. We add temporary music, temporary sound, and temporary dialogue. And I'll be doing quick drawings in there as we try to sort of dial sequences in. I keep talking about sequences. We break the movie into, 28 or more sequences, kind of chunks of the movie. And each story artist sort of will work on a sequence at a time, and that's how we build the movies out.
It's interesting. I mean, it seems like a really important role as I've been thinking about it and learning about it over the last couple of days, getting ready for this. In some ways, you're like all under the guise of creative storytelling. You're kind of a glue guy, a sculptor of the story. Anyway, it seems really like an interesting role, and it's a senior role.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's talk about the film. And, there's this really important work of how you portray and talk about interior lives, emotions, notably anxiety. How did you approach that?
Well, we definitely felt a big sense of responsibility with this movie, with the sequel, just because the first movie really created this language for, adults and kids to kind of talk about the emotions inside their heads and what they're feeling and expressing themselves. And so we definitely felt that responsibility of having to build upon that in the second movie. And especially since we were talking about anxiety and the effect that has on people, and also how you can manage your anxiety. So it was a lot of finding the balance between entertainment value, funny, creating an emotional story, but also sort of, doing the work to make sure that we're saying the right things. And we worked with experts. We had, psychiatrists and professional psychologists that we met with, and we had a trust of teenage girls to make sure that the authenticity was there and that it was feeling like things that they would say, things that they would do, and all that. So it was all working together over the last few years to kind of try and really make that accurate and feel real.
That's really cool that you went to the source and had that group of, young women or girls that said, oh, that's off by 2 degrees, or you nailed it there. That's really great. Given all that, and also this imperative to make it entertaining, have you had a moment that will stick with you in the making or in the watching it enter the world where you think, wow, this is what I'm doing?
Geez, that is a great question. I think there's been a few. I think the one that really sticks with me is sort of what I'll call the back end of the movie, and just sort of everything coming together, and everything that's going. I'm trying to speak without spoiling stuff in case people haven't seen it yet.
Very good.
Stuff with Riley at the end, and what ends up happening with anxiety and joy and all of that. I think that was really special, and I had the opportunity to do some of the storyboard work in that section, and it was one of the few times where I had like visceral emotional response when I was drawing it. So I kind of went, oh, I think we've got something here if I'm feeling it already, and we haven't even added all the bells and whistles of, sound and music yet. So that's probably one of the main ones.
That's amazing.
Kind of a vague answer.
No. I mean, thank you for no spoilers for sure. But also, that's a real moment where you're in the creating, you're doing your part of it, and you're overwhelmed by emotion. Anyway, that's especially considering Inside Out 2 and what we're talking about. That's wonderful. Hey, you're operating at the top of your field, and we're so tickled that your story starts and goes through Calgarian high school. Is there someone in Calgary who you think of who helped you become what you are, get where you are?
I could think of a couple people, actually. When I was in high school at Wisewood, they had started what was I can't remember what they called there was it was like a art program for people that sort of had an affinity for that. And Natalie Kurzak was the teacher at Wisewood at the time. And she went around the class and just kind of asked everyone, what they wanted to do, and if anyone was interested in sort of pursuing an art career and going to art school the next year. This was in my last year of high school. And I said that I wanted to be an animator. And she looked at me and said, I do not know what that is. But she went out and did some research, and this is before the internet. And she came back and she found out about this place called the Quick Draw Animation Society, which I think still exists, and that they offered sort of programs and classes. And so I took one of their programs, and that was kind of my introduction to learning how to animate and things like that before I went to Sheridan. And I always think about Ms. Kurzak and her, that she went out of her way to kind of go learn about this crazy thing that she'd never heard of before, and found something that was, really valuable to me as I was starting to learn my craft.
That's wonderful. Oh, the places you'll go, it makes me think about. Thank you for this, John. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.